Welcome, everybody. What happened to the intro? I have an intro ready to go. I guess not on this time. Well, so today I said I was going to start. Welcome, everybody. How you feeling today? The intro didn't
I'm
come on as
blessed.
planned. All right.
How y'all
Forget
doing?
that. Forget that intro. Peace and love, family. Welcome to Sis Star Cipher on Reality Speaks TV. I'm here with my lovely co-host today. We're going to introduce these lovely ladies in a moment, but before then, I'll give you a brief introduction. I'm Sparkle. Peace and love. Welcome. Beautiful people on tonight's Sis Star Cipher. I am so honored to share this sacred space with you all, where we hold conversations that nourish the spirit, honor our truths, and build community. Tonight's conversation is called Growing Through Grief, Finding Light After Loss. Grief touches us all in different ways through the loss of loved ones, relationships, dreams, parts of ourselves, and sometimes even a sense of safety. But tonight, we're not here just to sit in the pain. We're here to honor our journeys, lift each other up, and talk about the ways we can grow through what we've been through. We'll be sharing stories, offering coping tools, and reminders that even in the hardest seasons, there is still light available to us, and that light is within us. Feel free to grab a journal if you have one nearby, or a small item that symbolizes remembrance, hope, or healing for you. Let's breathe together, build together, and heal together. Welcome to Sis Star Cipher. All right, so in order of appearance, Venus, tell us who you are and a little bit, maybe how you feeling today or how you feeling about this topic.
Well, I am Victorious Venus, the victorious one. I've been renamed, but everybody knows me as Venus, so I still identify that way too. Uh, um, I'm I'm the founder of Say What Enterprises, and we do unorthodox services like standing in the gap. I also do grief relief services, so people who are getting unnecessary phone calls during their time of grief, they could go right on ahead and hire me for their reception work, so that I could let people know what received those messages in that
Mm-hmm.
fashion where it's more acceptable for timing. Anyhow, this topic right here touches on me because as an African American female, as a minority, as a female, as a human being, I have no choice but to endure life with loss. I mean, yes, there's a gain in those losses, and I've got things to say about it. So I'm looking forward to taking notes from and learning from y'all while I share what it is that I have to say too. Mhm.
Welcome, Sister Tioka.
Peace and blessings to the listening audience here at the Sis Star Cipher. I am so happy to be a part of this conversation and be a part of this broadcast once again. I thank you, Sister Sparkle. You're such a ray of sunshine and you're a light that's keeping hope alive in our community by offering this platform. I am excited for yet another, which will be a successful Sister Cipher, just dialoguing and digging deep into the understanding of grief and loss and how to deal with it. How am I feeling today? I'm tired today. But I'm feeling blessed and thankful for another day to try to figure this thing out.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So I just wanted to, before we dive into conversation and dialogue, I wanted us to talk about the types of grief and loss and what is grief and loss by definition. So grief is the emotional, physical, spiritual, and mental response to losing someone or something deeply important to us. Loss refers to the actual experience of being without that person, thing, place, or part of yourself. Grief isn't just about death, it can come from any kind of deep disconnection. So, the types of grief or loss: death of a loved one, most commonly recognized form includes mourning and remembering. Loss of a relationship, breakups, divorce, estranged family, friendships, and fallouts. Loss of identity or self, major life changes, motherhood, aging, menopause, premenopause, illness, gender transitions. 4, loss of safety or security, experiencing trauma, violence, or displacement. 5, loss of a dream or future. Ooh, this is the one. I can't wait. When plans fall through, when plans fall through, career goals or fertility issues, for some of us who have been trying but just unfortunately haven't been able to. Ambiguous loss, when a person is physically present but emotionally or mentally gone. Examples are Alzheimer's, incarceration, addiction. And the last one is collective or cultural grief. Losses felt by communities like police violence, war, racism, stuff like that. So I just wanted to, for the sake of definition, go over those types of griefs. And ladies, whew, I'm already like, ooh, all right, let's go. Venus, what's going on, Venus?
I was just taking notes. I had to turn the page. That's how good these notes is worth taking. I hope other people are taking notes too, because there's some information to unpack over here.
Okay, so I guess I'll start with you, Venus. Out of all of those losses that I mentioned or griefs, which one resonates with you the most? And little sharing time. Let's get
I,
ourselves
I
flowing.
think I think they all resonate with me the most, but we don't want to get me started like that. So I'll talk about the one that's most presently relatable. Uh, the one that I suffer these days is I have a loved one who is a major part of my support system who is currently incarcerated. I want to go see him, but he's on the other side of a wall, so it's not as convenient as it used to be. I used to be able to call on him, and now I got to get permission or someone to deliver the message that I even want to speak to.
Mm.
Life is different right now. Life is different right now. And as I struggle through these moments, I realize that there's a lot of painful moments that I was missing before I got to endure this important lesson. I know there's a lesson in it, but I don't like it. It's very
Hmm.
uncomfortable, and it does this thing in my chest that makes my eyes well up. I mean, you want to be able to explain it, but it's difficult. And it turns out there's a system to this, like there's stages of me going
Yeah.
through this. And then it's gonna cycle on me, and it's gonna make me run something back because maybe I didn't do it right the first time or completely the first. I don't like it. So I'm glad we're talking about grief because I am ready to do what it takes to do what we got to do to heal through this, you know? And yeah. So that's the one that's resonating with me most presently. How about y'all? What you guys going what you got going on?
Oh wow. So I thought I had some questions for you all, but I do now though. Sister Tioka, how do you personally define healing?
Um, that's a good question. So I personally define healing. So that means like, you don't want us to go from like the definition, but um growth. I would say growth and acceptance. So when I think about healing, we have an inner healing, and you can get scarred, on your physical body. You get a sore or something, and you could physically watch it starts to heal. And what happens is the body starts to create, to protect the injury and create new skin, which would be in the form of and then, in the form of a scab, until um that wound, is ready. The scab falls off and the wound's ready to heal. But the healing that I know you're talking about is that internal healing. And I think for me, I define it the same way. It's like growth and acceptance is what how I would see healing.
Mm, wow. I want to ask you that same question, um, Venus.
Well, I feel like I'm in a process of the uncomfortable stages, but I feel like I'm scabbing over, little something, forming a scab. So I agree with Miss Tioka on this. Is that there's layers to healing, and depending on where you're standing and looking at the healing, it is going to define your experience in that moment, but it's still a process, and it's an inevitable process, unfortunately. So yeah, I feel like, yeah, there are some scars, but that's evidence that healing occurred. you know,
Mhm.
and I remember earlier remembering someone a long time ago who I bet was wiser than me when they said that pain is evidence of growth. So we need to be glad that we can endure these pains, because that can remind us that there's another chance that we might be better today than we were yesterday, and tomorrow better than today. So growth.
Mm.
Yep, I agree with Miss Tioka that healing equals growth.
Yeah. And Sparkle, if I can add a
How
little
about
bit
you?
more.
How about you, Sparkle? What you think? I'm sorry.
Well, Sister T, I'm gonna let you add on, and then I'm gonna because I wasn't expecting it to be back on me. So okay.
So no, I just wanted to add a little bit more to the definition, healing and growth. Um, I think about re-injuries, right? So let's say, sometimes on a physical scar, you peel that, or you take that band-aid off too soon, or you stop applying the medication, or the scab, you pick at, some people are scab pickers, and and you re-injure, and you
Sometimes the universe just wants us to resonate on it. I think that we need to focus on that re-injury, because that's where the lag started, right?
Mm. And then you asked me, what does healing mean to me? I have never been asked that question. So if I, now that I have to actually go inside and, you know, flow purely, I would say that healing is a lot of pain. And what I mean by pain is discomfort, um, being uncomfortable, being in a place that we possibly haven't been before, and there's no manual. It's about being transparent and honest. Most of all, being vulnerable, because that transparency, it makes you so vulnerable, left you vulnerable to be judged or to be misunderstood. So I would think that healing is just a ball of chaos and confusion and pain waiting to be aired out and put a bandage over. It's going to leave a scar, right? Um, However, it will close up. Prayerfully, we won't pick at it. We'll leave it alone and leave the bandage on. But I feel like it's a lot of pain to help us identify with our purpose. You back, Sister Tioka?
Now
Oh my
Miss Yoga
goodness.
can reiterate what she was talking about. We were excited about the risk of re-injury. Please do tell us more.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I got a phone call. The phone call just knocked everything out.
Oh
So yeah, I
yes,
was
I
saying as
know.
far as
Makes sense.
I was just reflecting on how sometimes it takes a long time to heal because we're constantly we're agitating or aggravating that wound, or we are in, in an emotional state. We're constantly putting ourselves in a predicament to re-stimulate those painful traumatic experiences, whatever level they're on. We kind of keep putting ourselves in that position. um and sometimes, because again, like if you don't take the medicine, or if you don't allow the time for the healing to occur naturally, the process is going to take longer. And I just wanted to add that. So growth, um and and acceptance, it kind of help you in that process. Once you really look at the, like, I am injured, like, you know what I mean, like something is hurting me, you know and I need to pay attention. I need to accept the fact that this reoccurring thing is happening. Like I keep falling on the same knee. Like I probably need to go to the doctor and figure out what's going on with my equilibrium. Or if it's dealing with a person, it's like I keeping myself acceptable to this person who continues to, offend me, or whatever it could be. So once you accept the fact that this is in fact detriment to my health, like it's hurting me more than helping me, then you give it, you give yourself some time to heal from that. So I just wanted to add that part to what how I see healing.
I just want to point out that after talking with y'all ladies today, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to evolve to a guru. Y'all just going to make it so easy for me to handle. So come on, I'm excited. Let us talk more. You were saying, Sparkle, I'm still
Oh
taking notes over
yes,
here. I had to turn my
Jesus
page a couple of
wept,
times over
baby.
here.
That is pure flow, and I love it. So we have a comment. Um, that, please, everybody, I'm working with this phone, this small, tiny thing with these big old fingers trying to navigate to the comments here. Share my phone. No. Okay, here we go. Show on stage. There we go. Peace of mind. I guess that was the description of what we call healing. And it's another comment. This is from our friends who are watching Facebook. Thank you and welcome. And this is the one here. Right now, I ruminate on things I can't change.
Just peeling that scab off.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Whew. All of a sudden it got hot in here. All right. I have another question for you ladies. Um, how do you make space for joy while honoring your losses? And I just want to be transparent and vulnerable right now and say that you see these glasses right here? They're symbolic of me losing my 2020 vision that I had all my life. Now, if I don't wear these glasses, you guys just look like spots of blur. So I'm not handling that very well. I like to look at things. I'm so inquisitive. I like to use my sight, and it is getting to the point where I have to use eyeglasses now to see, to read. I'm losing my sight, ladies, and I'm not handling it very well. So, how do you make space for joy while honoring your losses? Sister Tia.
That's funny. Well, again, acceptance, because one of the things that I learned when I, got to a certain age, I went to the eye doctor and they were like, "Oh, this is normal. Once you get 40 and up, you need a little extra help." Um, And you need to wear your glasses with reading and certain things like that. Um, so just accept it, Sister Sparkle. Just accept it. It is what it is,
I got to
right?
get some cute frames, ladies. I have to get the flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I
Yep,
have to
just
wear some
accept it.
glasses, I'm wear some good looking ones now.
Yep, make it a part of who you are. But can you ask the question one more time so I can? I just want
Okay.
to make sure.
So, how do you make space for joy while honoring your losses?
Okay, that's a very good question. And I really hope that I can touch somebody and understand it. One, I see grief a little bit different. So usually people who grieve, they're sad and they're sorry and they're frustrated, and there's a lot of emotions attached to it. But I really do believe that grief is um it's not just part of the healing process, but if you understand what's happening to your mind and embrace it, then you will understand that grief is actually preserving the memories of your loved one, whomever, whatever you lost. And you accept those memories. The only thing that you're sad about, you're not sad about the memories that you already made, right? You're reflecting, you're ruminating. You're not upset about that. These good times has happened, and you can embrace them, right? What you're sad about is that you can no longer make those memories with this individual. You have to accept that and hold on to the fact that you had this time, you had this moment, you were able to create lasting memories, because the only way that that person actually lives is through those memories. That's how they live in you. So that's how I see it.
Ooh, yeah, and that resonated with me so well. I just recently lost my stepdad. Well, he's actually my dad, and there was a lot of skepticism, or it was a lot of, I guess, drama or trauma related to the surrounding that dad. Is it your dad? Is it your stepdad? He raised me.
Mhm.
And I have his last name, birth certificate, and everything. So when I lost, well, first of all, I was trying to get to him and I couldn't get to him in time. I had about a month to get to him for unforeseen, whatever this terminology is, beyond my control. I wasn't able to make it there. You know, I had the money, I didn't have the time. I had the time, I didn't have the money, and things like that. So when finally he got lost, I had to grieve the fact that I didn't make it to him in time before he passed, right? And then I wrote this eulogy, and I felt like the eulogy should be 16 pages long. This man had a major impact in my life, you know, good or bad. But when I was reminiscing, I couldn't help but to hold on to those memories that actually taught me a thing or two for the woman that I am today. So, with that being said, I thank you for saying that. That was really comforting for me. And Venus, I'm coming to you next. How you over there? You just a flowing and glowing.
I'm getting excellent notes. I'm even writing lately. I just love I'm able to keep up here. No, I'm appreciating this time right here because when I'm talking to people, I'm real good at telling them, in their times of grief. I'm like, but look at all the memories you guys were able to have, and look how when you laugh, that laugh is the same laugh that they had when we did that one thing that I got to see too, and we laugh, and next thing you know, we drunk and crying about what but I was thinking, like, I do that for everybody else. I don't really do that for me. For me, I skip the funeral. I help with the repast. I comfort everybody else. And then I find a bunch of obligations to deny that I have anything to deal with at all. See,
Mm.
I go into complete denial, super coping. I mean, I do that, but I'm so good at telling everybody else this is how you can find comfort. And then 10 years down the road, I realized, oh yeah, my dad died a little over a decade ago, never dealt with that. And it creeps up on me. And then I realize there's a scab. And I have to rip the band-aid off so the scab can breathe and have its chance to. I didn't realize until today that it was really it was really that. But thank you, Miss Chioka, for giving us the analogy. I'm pretty sure it's thanks to all those lovely kids you have around that can give us those full illustrations every day. I mean, there's life in all of our losses. Like I fall and I hurt myself, but then while I'm sitting on the ground, I know I gotta get up. And when I get up, yeah, it hurts, but it's a triumphant moment, you know.
Mhm.
So I mean, yeah, my first coping is denial. Like my first initial reaction to any loss, I believe, is denial. How can we undo this? Let's fix it right now. So that's my initial coping mechanism, and I know that I can't be the only one. So I thought I'd put that out there because y'all just came across so strong and beautifully that I was like, I got to be transparent and let somebody know that it'd be hard right off. And I go into denial, so you can't tell. I get to be the strong one. I hold everybody up. Everybody's good. Then I can go home and cry.
You just so
So
lucky
yeah.
I don't have a voice like Sister Tioka, because I'll be singing a Negro spiritual right about now. Well, and Venus, she does this. This is just her essence. That's why I'm happy that she's here. She's just like, I'm showing up too, thinking I'm the hostess, and I'm over here like, Tioka. And so she's saying these words, right? Just look at her. She's just like, she's saying these words. It's just so great. So that's why, to help ground us all. It's So I was talking to a lady who she wants to eventually come on this platform, but she's navigating herself. She actually physically lost her daughter about 2 or 3 years ago, and she told me to let everybody know that grief doesn't just go away. It's something that you learn to cope with. But when I asked her about the joy, the joy question that I just asked her, she said, well, I have my daughter's children, so she's raising her daughter's children, so that brings her joy, and to help her sustain herself, knowing that she has to move forward. So everybody have their ways of coping, but just to let everybody know that it doesn't go away, but it's important to find ways to cope. She's going to be starting work again tomorrow. She's opened her own business. Like, she's progressing. She's finding her purpose through the pain.
Sparkle, I don't really believe that grief needs to go away. I think it's how we process it emotionally and spiritually. I think in that grief is a high level of appreciation for the life that God allowed to have in your life. That person, that experience is a blessing from the Most High. So
Mm.
why deny that? Why deny that? I mean, this woman is raising her grandchildren. Like, that's such a it's such a blessing to be able to every day look at her grandchildren and say, I'm doing this for my child, the blessed child that God gave me, and gave me an extension of my child. It's just it's such a high level of gratitude that goes along with just sitting in that moment and being like, I didn't lose her. She's with me. I've gained so much. And now I have an opportunity to pour into her children. So yeah, no, it's just how you deal with it emotionally. It's how you deal with it. It's how you, on a physical level, how you deal with it. And I pray, that she has the coping skills to be able to just be thankful to the Most High. In all things, be thankful.
Yes,
I'm
that's
sorry, I just
definitely.
had to say that.
Well, yeah, that's definitely the attitude of gratitude that she displays to me often. That's why I'm like, when I knew I was having this topic, I'm like, I thought about you. I'm thinking about you, as her children are growing, and, they were real young. So she has to pretty much, I like what you just said, living with her children. So I guess um, I want to talk about practices that, we can do in our everyday life that can help us with this grief, or with this loss. But I want to ask you this, Sister Sioka. What's something you wish people understood better about grief? I think you said a little bit, but I want you to really unpack that. Like, what's something you wish people understood better about grief?
I mean, it's like what I said, the grieving process, it really, it seems negative, right? Because it's like you, you physically lost someone. So we're talking about a physical, I'm gonna say it as far as physical death. Um, it seems very negative, but once you understand that the experience that you had with this person is gonna last forever, as long as you continue to actually work through that process. You'll never be without that person, right?
Mhm.
You just won't be able to make more memories with them. But grief on another level, you mentioned in the beginning, you said, sometimes you can grieve the loss of a job, the loss of an income, the loss of
Mhm.
a significant other, in a sense of like a breakup in a relationship. Um, I think those are. I would assume that those are a little easier to get over, or because you can, if you process the loss like it happened already. It happened. I lost him. We're no longer together. That happened. Oh man, we're not gonna be able to make memories. He may be making memories with somebody else, and
Mhm.
let me get over it and move on. I think that the grieving process is not the same, of course. So you'll be able to, you can, not that you replace the person, but you replace the person. But when it comes down to losing someone, that person is irreplaceable. So all that you have is just to hold on to the memories that you made, and but you're not losing this person every day. And I think that's
Mhm.
the point that I'm trying to make. Like when you're in present time, like when you in the here and the now, that initial loss, it happened. The next step is processing that loss. That, okay, this person, and we can't, I'm not gonna be able to see this person again physically, but I
Mm-hmm.
can conjure this person up in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, because of the memories, right? And embracing that, so that way you're not constantly experiencing that loss, right? Because to constantly experience that loss becomes painful. So that's when we're looking at a painful grief. The other thing is, and I'm gonna say this, and I hope I don't offend anybody, but did you really lose the person? If grieving is the preservation of the memories that you have with this person, okay, they're no longer here for you to create new memories. But did you really lose the person? That person becomes a part of you. Everything goes back to the essence. Everything goes back to the most high, right? But that person, that the person that touched you, the person that you experienced, the person that you made memories with, the person that you have history with, where 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 did it go? You just have to be able to reflect and resurrect them in your mind and your body and your spirit.
Mhm.
I do the only grief that the grieving process is really hard when you're dealing with a person that is sick.
Mm.
For instance, when a person have Alzheimer's, right? Because it's like you're losing that person every day. They call that what they call it? Oh my
Dementia.
god, I forgot dementia, but it's a terminology they use, and it's kind of referring to like a person dying slowly, because every day you're losing a piece of them. Like every time sometimes you'll get a glimpse, but every day you're losing them. Every day is the day that you're grieving the loss, as the mind slowly decline. And there's
Mm-hmm.
a word for it. If it comes back, I'll bring it up. But But even that scriptural, it says we come into the world knowing nothing, and we leave out knowing nothing.
Mm.
It's that in between. It's that dash when you have the date, the birth date, and then the death date. That dash is that's the memories that need to be preserved. Those are
Mm.
the things that we need to reflect on so that we don't feel like we're going through this loss every day.
Yes. Venus, I have a question for you. What has grief taught you about love?
Mm.
What has grief taught me about love? I mean, the most obvious answer would be that I'm capable of it because I
Mm.
have to love something to have to miss the presence of it. So I would have to say that it taught me that I'm capable of love, and that has love is like it's it's a currency. It's an energy. It evolves. It never dies. It just transforms into whatever form it was ultimately meant to be. By my perspective, um, it definitely taught me that I need to slow down and appreciate the love while I have it,
Mm.
uh, and that it comes in so many different forms, much like the fear of losing it could be, uh, and that maybe we. I'm trying to find the right words here, but somehow it just says if we would slow down enough, then we could actually enjoy love for what it was created to be. Like a conversation I used to have, any of them. I used to interrupt. Remember, I used to interrupt all the conversations, and you'd be saying something and forget what you said, what you were saying, because I interrupted in that moment. I've gotten better at listening because grief has shown me that if you love properly, you stop to listen to see what it has to offer. Yeah, that one. That's what I learned. I hope I answered that question
Yes, you
accurately.
got me over here deep, deep breathing, like, all right, Sister Fielder. I got the same question for you. What has grief taught you about love?
Um, in the Bible, it it talks in Corinthians. It talks about love is right,
Hmm.
and I think looking at grief and love, it reminds me of that scripture. You know, it doesn't. It's kind. It doesn't keep record. And it's keep record meaning of the bad things. I think what happens with grieving is that, and you mentioned it in the beginning, you was like, as you was grieving your father, the good and you said the good and the bad. Usually there's no bad that we can conjure up, right? Love just takes over, and you just reflect on all of the positive memories, the lasting memories, the things that you didn't even catch when you were um there, like when you thought you was present, like you sit back and you reflect, and you reflect. And I think that reflection is where you find the love of that individual. You find that scripture. So that's what that's what it taught me. It's like, you know this is scriptural. Like this is from God. So
Yeah, that was good. So listen, I just want to add to, I think that well, I feel that as you ladies were speaking as well, I had time to, come up with a thought or two about what grief has done for me in regards to love. I feel like it has showed me that I have absolutely no control over people, places and things, right?
Hmm.
Like I got this controlling nature about myself where I'm like, oh, me, mine, come over here, me, oh, me, mine. And then now when it's gone, when it's lost, when I move away, when they move away, or when that I get laid off from that job, or anything that I was emotionally attached to, it has grief has humbled me so well, where it's like nothing surprises me. I have to be open to losing as much as I'm open to giving and open to receiving. So I think it taught me about love, that I can't own it, that love. I have to be in that love and flow with that love. And then maybe I won't grieve as hard, as I know that thing. That's how the cycle of life is. We flow, you up and down. Mhm. Okay, so I won't keep you ladies too much longer, right? So, and I also was told that this might have to be broken down into a series of segments, or a segment of series. Like we have to, because there's so many different types of grief, that we need to compartmentalize or put into perspective. Like the grief of a person, the grief of a job, or we'll see. Because typically, when I say I'm going to do a part one, part two, part three, a series, I don't know how long that's going to come. Oh, another thing, side note, I'll be remiss to mention, as I'm stalling when I get to the next question, that Sister Cipher has officially made 1 year at the beginning of this. At the beginning
All
of
right,
this.
happy anniversary.
April made 1 full year for Sis Star Cipher, and I had no clue that it was a year, but thank goodness to the memories that show up on social media. I'm like, oh wow, it's been a year already. So I'm gonna bring that up, and I want to say shout out to Tiffany, who actually, said to me, "Come on, let's do it. Let's do it. I'll do it. Let's do it. Let's do it." So she can't. She's not here now, but she actually held my hand and led me to this platform, because I had to choose to do it. But she said, "Come on." So Tiffany, if you're watching, I love you, girl. And Tracy and Tioka, one of the beginning people that was here from the beginning. So I feel like you kind of did this year with me. Sister Tioka is the same way about, we're gonna do it, let's do it. All right, I'll be there. What time? Send me the link. And she's here. Look at her. So just Venus, you're here for your first time. It's just like it's coming full cipher, right? The circle is just keeps spinning, right? So I'm happy that you ladies are here with me, and thank you for gifting me with the most precious gift, which is your time, the present, right? And being here with our listening audience. And the viewership is going up too. I'm happy to say that 11.5K viewers from 3,000 viewers in the last 30 days. That's also something to be happy about. People are tuning in, people are listening. For whatever reason, I'm not sure, but I'm almost certain that it's for a connection that we've all been searching for. That's why I say real people, real talk, in real time. These are the hard conversations that people, I guess it's taboo to unpack or say to the whole crowd out loud. But no, we're bringing it to a cipher. We're bringing it, we're airing it out, and we're telling our story our way. We're not giving anybody the pen to narrate our story, right? So we do it in real time. So before I offer tips for people to actually heal, I do have some tips and some suggestions and some offerings on how people can heal. I just have one more question for you ladies. Um, how can we support each other better through loss? Because we seem to be here showing up for one another. We showing up for ourselves. You know, it is easier said than done, but how do we support each other better through loss?
Hmm.
I'll start with you, Sister Tioka. How do we support?
You talking to me? I didn't hear you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. It cut out for a minute. Okay, so that's a good question. The first thing that popped in my mind is we usually tell people, you need to pray, you need to get into your scriptures. Um that is enough. However, we need each other. Like we need when someone say to me, or if someone say to me, you need to get into your scriptures. I want to get into my scriptures with you. Like remind me, because the scriptures are there to be a guiding light, because nothing is new under the sun, right? So there's people that have gone through this, like um you could direct me to the scriptures, but what scripture you directed me to, and can you just pour into me in that moment, like by using the word of God, right? Then the other thing is experience. So the other thing is that we want to align ourselves with people that have been through something and have overcame, so that they can help us overcome. So I think for me, communication is like the number one thing. Like, and when I say communication, I bring up the scriptures, and I bring up praying, like praying. I think that's all together, and I think we really need each other to do that. I really don't subscribe to just telling somebody you need to just go and just pray. I would like to pray together, or just go and just read your scriptures. I'm like, let me quote a verse for you to remind you, and you need to be comforted, and and let me communicate to you, and let me also listen, right? Let me also let you talk about the memories that you're trying to preserve as you grieve. Sometimes people just need to sit and listen, and let that person just, you know, I know we got this thing where we don't want people to dump on us, but I just think that if sometimes we're stronger in other areas than other people are, right? And in the same, and that's the same that with people who are going through things, sometimes they don't come to other people, like they go and they hide, or they grieve to themselves because they don't want to put a burden on someone else. Um, but the reality is that it's very much possible that that person may be strong in that area, and it's okay. And it's okay to come to them and um and and just cry on their shoulder, or just pour out to them, like, this is what I'm suffering with, and I'm having a hard time. Today I'm having a hard time. Um I would like to be that for people on all levels, whether it's grief of a loved one. I mean, grieving the loss of a loved one, a significant other, a job, or child, whatever, just changes, just so many changes that's happening in our life. Just in your text, Venus. Changes that's happening in our life. We really need each other. We really need each other. And I would say my power is through communication. I reach out to people. I'd be like, if you walk past my mind, I'm giving you a call. So
Yes, I have a couple of calls from you, a few calls from you because I crossed your mind. So we have a comment, Clarita. She says, checking, constantly reaching out, checking in, even though they say they want to be alone, just sit and listen.
hmm we
Okay.
have to be that for each other. We really do.
Yeah. Thank you, Clarita.
I don't know about constantly, because sometimes when I think when I'm telling people that they just need to give me some space, sometimes I really just need a couple of minutes to hear my own thoughts. And I do believe I even created a poetic piece about that. Sometimes people just talk too much when you need to slow down your thoughts. But at least, periodically and consistently checking up to make sure that they don't feel all the way alone. Because I don't like to be bothered all the time, but I'm not good at asking for somebody to support me. So I just kind of wait to see what shows up, what God sends to my path to give me consolation aside from my word in that time that I do spend, you know, resonating in what I can see that is for me in that moment, you know. But yeah, it is good to have support, and we do need more support. But I mean, even in times where we're not losing, we need support. We need support when we win in too, and that's usually what we end up missing is that we had somebody who was happy that we was winning. And if we did more of that, then maybe, you know, grief would be a little easier to deal with altogether if we just stayed happy that, you know, we was winning together.
Hmm.
Or maybe I'm just talking stuff. Am I just talking stuff?
Well, actually, no.
I
It's
like
just
I like what you said, Venus. I like what you said as far as, some people don't. Sometimes it's too much. Too much. People are talking too much and they're trying to fix your problems, and sometimes you don't need that. You really I'm a good sit down and silent type of person and just wait. I mean, I remember walking with someone, I just knew that person needed a walk. And I'm like, let's just go for a walk. And we walked in silence. And at the end of that walk, there was a hug. And that person was like, this is what I needed. Just, just didn't want to be alone, but didn't know how to process the thoughts. And then sometimes I'll walk with someone and that person is totally silent. And I'm talking the whole time. And I'm just talking about my life or experience, just chit chatting and not requiring a response at all. And at the end of that, there'll be a hug. I needed that. So I get what you're saying, Venus. I just think we need to have enough courage to do that with one another. Sometimes we become fearful, we think that the person is pushing us away, or we're so private, right? We don't want nobody in our business. I'm just not the person that's afraid to do that. So, because I don't take what someone else is going through personally. Um, I really do just try to figure out how to help the person.
that's really good stuff. And for me, I think that my way of showing up is this platform right here. I like to fall back on this platform because this is truly how I give back. Well, this is my idea, right? So I feel like that people have lost other things, people, places, and things, and they want to talk about it. They want somebody to listen to it. So I invite people to come here and talk about what you're going through, what's how you're feeling. So I'm not 100% sure. Like, I've been talkative before, and I've been quiet before, and I'm not sure which method worked or if it worked for the person. So I like to think that when people call me, I just show up, and I like to think that they call me because they want my personality. I was told I have a bubbly personality. I have a personality that uplifts people, make people happy. So I guess I just be myself. And people who are really know me, they'll say, Sparkle, you heard this song before? Or they'll redirect me. Like, people who know me, they'll redirect me to help them help me help them. So but I feel like I'm here for the most part, and when you see me, I'm definitely gonna smile. So I would like to think that I help out, and I want to be able to help out more, and I want people to tell me how I can help, and to just sit there and be quiet. I'm not sure how long I could do that for, maybe 20 minutes. Just sit there, just sit with someone. Like, the way my personality is, I don't know. I'm thinking 20 minutes. I'm gonna want to get up, maybe ask them if they want some water, or if ask them if they want something. But so I'm going to be striving to be better, but by asking more questions on how can I help, or maybe write them a letter. Some people like letters, some people like flowers too. That seems to be working when people are going through stuff too. Clarita says something else here. Wait, was that said already? Constantly reaching out and checking though, even though they said to one they be alone. Okay. There was one more here that I saw.
She said, I appreciate you, ladies. Thank you.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. I appreciate you, ladies. Thank you.
We
And thank you.
appreciate you, Clarita.
Yes, yes, we do.
Sparkle, I
Um,
would like to introduce one more concept to dealing with people who are, who are grieving. Um, Sometimes we're so stuck in our head. I think the young lady that talked about ruminating. We're so stuck in our head. Ruminating is a little bit different than reminiscing. We're playing out scenarios on how things should have went, could have went, what I could have did better. Just stuck, trying to solve the problem that is technically unsolvable, right? It's time to move forward. But one of the things about being stuck in your head is that sometimes you need help to get out your head. And one of the things that I like to practice is extroversion. I think I talked about it on this platform before. When you go outside and see something different, when you look at the trees, like it was one time, I remember doing a summer camp. I had a difficult child. He was so smart, but he was so upset about something that took place that he could not get out his head. Like he was tantruming and everything. And I grabbed him and I took him outside. And it was the simplest thing. He was so cute. They were doing like a challenge with math. And he lost. And he was a sore loser. Okay. He was a sore loser. So I said he was like causing all kind of nuisance, right? So I took him outside. I said, "Come outside, go for a walk with me." And so we went outside, and he was still angry. He was pouting and crying and hyperventilating and all together, right? So I'm just walking and I'm quiet as he's just like, you know how they get in that that cry where he got to be about 6 years old. And I asked him, "How many trees you see out here?" And he looked at me, "Huh?" I said, "How many trees?" I mean, in his little mind, he's like, this woman's asking me, like, yeah, I can imagine, just ask me about trees. So he started counting all the trees. And it became a extroversion. I took him out of his head, out of what was troubling him. And by the time we were done counting all the many trees on the block on Park Ave and making sure that we had to correct them out, I was like, "You ready to go back in?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm good. I feel better." So those are tactics that I use, even in stuff like that. Let's go do, we do it as adults, right? And sometimes people do it with alcohol. It's like I just need to get my mind off of this. So I'm gonna go out and drink, party, or whatever. Not the best way to do it because it actually enhances grief. It makes you feel more sad and sorry. Um, but extroversion and having a friend that can take you and talk to you about something different or make you laugh, right? Not it's not just taking your mind off of it. It's reminding you that you're not being injured right now. Like you're not you're the what we say in the beginning. The scab is there. It's not, your injury is not exposed anymore. Like we can do something different as we wait for this to totally heal. So that's my idea of taking walks and just, having conversations or just being quiet or pointing out the trees. Because when
Yes.
we're in our head, we don't see the trees. We only see what's in our head. You ever drove somewhere and you got stuff on your mind? You done drove and you don't even remember the route you took to get there. Cause you all in
Yes.
your head.
Yes.
So we have to
Or how you
be,
got there so fast.
you got this so fast, right? So we have to be mindful and we have to be aware. We have to be in present time. I am not being injured constantly. I am not losing this person over and over and over again. It
Yeah.
happened. I experienced it. And now I will bring this person up in my memory bank with joy in my heart because I'm just so thankful that I got an opportunity to experience them.
Hmm. Wow. So, um, I have some things that I would like to say before we close out. Venus, would you like to say anything?
I
Minister
have
can
some good notes
say,
here. I bet I got plenty to say in the follow up, but I think, I just want to keep on taking notes and learn what I can. I think this is just a valuable experience, and I'm resonating in the fact that I'm here with y'all, and I'm learning much, and I get to be a part of the learning experience too. This is wonderful, and I'm just looking forward to seeing that many people are touched and able to use these things, and also to because I was able to be transparent, which is not an easy thing for me to do, to be vulnerable and to let y'all know that I cry sometimes too. I'm not always I'm a superwoman. I think when I look back and when I review the feed again, I'm going to see that I probably saw something that I didn't even realize I said. So I'm going to save my comments for a later reservation if I can. Just take some more
Absolutely.
notes.
So I have an affirmation I would like to share with our listening audience and all of us and myself and everybody who's listening, Sister Tioka, Venus. I honor my grief. I honor my healing. I honor the love that lives within me. Let me say it one more time. I honor my grief. I honor my healing. I honor the love that lives within me.
beautiful.
So I just wanted to, because I took these notes earlier on ways to cope with grief, I wanted to, if anybody who was listening wanted to write these things down or keep a mental note. Number one, it's only 8. Acknowledge and accept it. Don't rush yourself to get over it. Feel it fully and give it its space. 2, memorials. Speak the name of your loved one. Play music that connects you with the person, place a thing, a memory. 3, move the body. Dance, walk, cry, stretch. Grief lives in the body. So we want to kind of let it loose. Stretching, whatever we can do. 4, express it creatively. Express it creatively. Journaling, painting, poetry, storytelling. Give it a voice. 5, connection and community. Safe spaces like Sis Star Cipher, therapy, group healing circles. 6, spiritual and ancestral practice. Prayer, meditation, dreams. 7, therapy and grief counseling, especially for complicated or prolonged grief. And finally, 8, letting joy in. Joy and grief can coexist. Laughing doesn't mean you've forgotten. And just wondering if you ladies had anything else to say before I close us out. Sister Tioka.
No, this is wonderful. And thank you for allowing us to discuss this. And I'm hoping um, that we've touched some hearts to see things from different perspectives that will help them to cope with whatever type of grief that they're suffering, that they would heal, accept, and be patient with themselves. At the same time, embrace the grief because those memories are valid and you need to look at them.
So as we come to a close of tonight's Sis Star Cipher, I just wanted to take a moment to honor everyone who showed up, including us ladies. We showed up for ourselves. Whether you spoke, listened, reflected, or simply held space with your spirit, grief is not something we rush to fix or hide. It's something we move through, carrying both the weight of our love and the wisdom of our growth. Tonight, we reminded each other that healing is not linear and it doesn't have to be lonely. We grow stronger, lighter, and more whole when we allow ourselves to grieve and to love and community. Take with you the reminders that it's okay to smile, it's okay to cry, and it's okay to heal at our own pace. Until next time, keep shining your light, keep honoring your journey, and keep showing up for yourself and each other. Thank you for being here. Peace, love, and infinite light to you all. Good night, ladies. Thank you for listening to Sis Star Cipher on Reality Speaks TV. Real people, real talk, and real time. Good night.